This is the second video to section 3.2. Numbers 1 through 5, we are asked to find the domain. And in this problem, we are only going to express the domain in interval notation and not set builder notation. Please notice in number 1, this is a polynomial. Polynomials exist everywhere. Therefore, the domain here is all real numbers. And if we'd like to write that in interval notation, we'd say negative infinity to infinity. Remember, polynomials, the domain exists everywhere. All real numbers is the domain. Now, for number 2, this is a little different. We have our square root sign. Remember, underneath the square root sign, we cannot have negative numbers. So in this case, we need whatever is beneath our radical sign to be greater than or equal to 0. We're going to go ahead and solve this. Remember, when we divide both sides by a negative in an inequality, we must flip our sign. So this means x must be less than or equal to 4/3 for our domain. Number 3 looks a little bit similar, but notice in this case our index is a 3, whereas in number 2 our index was a 2. But in number 3 we have a cubed root. In this particular case, where our index is an odd number, we are allowed to have negative numbers or positive numbers or 0 underneath our radical sign. So in this case, there is no restriction on our domain. Our domain is all real numbers, and in interval notation, we'd write negative infinity to infinity. In number 4, we have a fraction. And remember, we cannot have 0 in the denominator. So we have to make sure that whatever is plugged in for x, we do not have 0 in our denominator. I'm going to go ahead and factor this. And then I'm going to use my zero product property. So in this case, x cannot equal -2 and x cannot equal 3. To write this in interval notation, we'd write our domain like this. In number 5, we have two things going on here. One is our variable is in the denominator, so please remember our denominator can never equal 0. And 2, we have a square root sign. And underneath the square root sign, we can never have a negative number. So I want to make sure that my denominator is not equal to 0, but I also want to make sure that the denominator will be a positive number. In this case, my domain must be greater than 3. In the next problem, we're asked to find the range. The range is generally more difficult than finding the domain. However, if our function is always increasing or if it's always decreasing, we can sometimes find the range rather easily. Let's take a look at number 6. This is a polynomial, and x is greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 5. If we consider this graph, this polynomial here is always increasing. So in order to figure out our range in this particular case, we can simply find out the f of 0 and the f of 5 because those are the restrictions they give us for our x values. And since the function is always increasing, we can find out our range from here. And to do this, we'd simply plug in the x values to our function. So that means our y values will be between and including 1 to 26, like so. And that concludes the second video to section 3.2.